I think the president choosing to do a lot of things unilaterally on immigration would be a big mistake. It's an issue that most of my members want to address legislatively, and it's like waving a red flag in front of a bull to say, if you guys don't do what I want, I'm going to do it on my own. And the president's done that on Obamacare. He's done it on immigration and threatening to do it again. I hope he won't do that, because I do think it poisons the well for the opportunity to address a very important domestic issue.
And of course, as we welcome you to Gimme 5, the president then took to the podium at the White House about an hour or less after McConnell made those remarks and said, I'm going to sign that executive order. Too bad. He even went so far as to say people who don't want me to sign it probably don't want immigration reform, when McConnell voted for immigration reform in the Senate. So, you know, the president hasn't learned a thing. Things are only going to get nastier, not better, because of the president. Make no mistake about that. So here's the president, and he talks about, you know, what the election results meant to him. Watch.
Obviously, Republicans had a good night, and they deserve credit for running good campaigns. Beyond that, I'll leave it to all of you and the professional pundits to pick through yesterday's results. What stands out to me, though, is that the American people sent a message, one that they've sent for several elections now. They expect the people they elect to work as hard as they do. They expect us to focus on their ambitions and not ours. They want us to get the job done. All of us in both parties have a responsibility to address that sentiment. Still, as president, I have a unique responsibility to try and make this town work.
Yeah, it's all on his shoulders, isn't it? Isn't it amazing? Now listen to this remark. You want to hear bizarre? What on earth do you think this means? Watch.
So to everyone who voted, I want you to know that I hear you. To the two-thirds of voters who chose not to participate in the process yesterday, I hear you too.
I hear you too? I hear you too? To the people who didn't vote? What does that mean? It means that he now has to be president for the people who didn't participate, because he knows why they didn't participate. He knows they would have voted for Democrats. He knows they would have voted for his agenda. He knows really what the right path is based on the two-thirds who didn't vote. Have you ever heard a president say anything like that in your life? No, because we've never seen a president like this in our lifetime. Never. Don't make me list all the reasons. You want more? Here is, well, let's see. Okay, here's a question from the press conference from Jeff Mason of Reuters.
In 2010, you called the results of the midterm election shellacking. What do you call this?
Well, as I said in my opening statement, there's no doubt that the Republicans had a good night.
He won't call it a shellacking. He won't give it an adjective. Just, you know, hey, they had a good night, which is what he said in his opening statement. He's absolutely right. Now, Eugene Robinson of the Washington Post, who predicted that the Democrats, the Republicans probably wouldn't have such a good night, and even if they did, it's not a mandate to do anything. He had a name for it, kind of. Watch.
Well, Martha Coakley loses again, apparently. So, this whole evening really is shellacking the sequel. I said earlier on NBC before all these numbers came in that, I wasn't sure it was a wave. No, this is a wave.
It's a wave. It's shellacking the sequel. I like that. Kind of like Jaws 2, maybe, or shellacking 2. But this president hasn't learned anything. He doesn't care. This is what you have to understand, media. This president doesn't care. You can't judge him and analyze him by the standards that we've always judged and analyzed previous presidents by. He doesn't care. The public rejected him. He's not going to say, well, I learned my lesson. He's going to double down and get more in your face. Don't you get it? He couldn't care less. On the Steve Malzberg Show.